right, welcome Market Roadmap subscribers. It's February 13th, 2022. Got the Market Roadmap and let's jump into it. Now remember, these videos I've been doing the last few weeks, or several, almost 3 months now, they're not a regular part of Market Roadmap. This is like a bonus that I've been adding, and we may take it back off here in the future. But since the market's been kind of corrective and in a giant pullback, I've been adding in the videos just to try to help you see where an entry might be. So again, I've pulled off a list of potentials off of a scanner, and we're going to go through them. So ABT, number one here, below the market roadmap on Friday. This is looking indicative of a bigger pullback. Indicative, however you want to say it. Yeah, see, Applied Materials, again, below the roadmap. AMD, dropped below the roadmap. AVGO, let's see, you would have had an entry based off of the prior stuff over there. Yeah, looking at that, breaking above the prior high, got to pull back, still well above, your stop would be down here. So if you're going to look for a new, if you didn't get into this, a new entry, I'd be looking for something right up in here. At this point, I'd want to see price moving up, back up through there. It found resistance here, which means that it may fail, do a 1, 2, and come down in this 466 area right here. This may do this. You gotta watch out. I'm gonna leave that one on the list this week. All right, CCJ, Charlie, Juliet. My entry would be up here. Yeah, I'd be looking for something. See, right now it's got lower high, and that, despite it being green, that looks like price rejection. And big doji with the topping tail, not the most bullish pattern. Despite it jumping up on earnings, that shows some sort of price rejection, and it's right in this consolidation area, right near the 618. I need to see it pop up on through there. All right, Costco, still looking good. It did reject this 618. We got to see it get back above this area at the minimum. This could be set up for 1, 2, 3 type ABC type deal, where it's a we bounce off the 618 and we head down here. The market could be set up for a deeper correction I've been looking for, so just be cautious. Cisco below the roadmap line. DIA below the roadmap line. F in the roadmap line. Google below the roadmap line. Cut them both. GT. Whoa, baby. That's way down there. That may be type of thing that Mark K looks for, where it comes ripping back, but that's not holding the roadmap line. Yeah, right there, it was holding. It couldn't make a new high. Holding and dropped out. HD below the roadmap line. Lots of these are looking like they may go lower. IYR, KR. Now that's pretty good. That one's. Now, if you're not in it yet and you're like, well, where would I get in? Grab these tails over here, our topping tails. See, Friday we're pushing up into that resistance there. See, it's been resistance over here in December. It was support here in January. It was resistance again here in January. We try to push back up. It's resistance here in February. Need to see it get up through there. So looks like somewhere up here, maybe where this weekly pivot was, we left up here around 40, say 47.80. That could kick off a run up to 52 or even 54. LAC. Have to admit, this is one of my favorite charts lately. Really, really beautiful looking setup. I have a couple positions on this already. Getting above here, right back above 32, is an aggressive entry. I took a super aggressive entry already when it started making these higher highs here. Popping up on through, really nice. This area right here, 36, is going to be a more conservative entry. You do have to watch out for a reversal if it does that. And then this one could be heading out to 46.53. This one's been on the list quite a few weeks now. Another one's been on the list quite a few weeks. Lily here, dropping back down to the lows. If it can't hold support here in these lows, it could be heading on down. Just keep an eye out. That'd be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down. Probably see a 3 wave up, and then another correction. So that's just a bigger pattern that seems to be setting up. Keep an eye out on. So this one could be setting up for a larger correction if it doesn't get its act together. Cutting it off the list though. LOW, stuck right at the roadmap line. We're going to cut it for this week. M, still looking, this looks really, really nice to me. This is a longer consolidation that I care for. I do have a couple shares that I bought back here when it was making the move up. I think maybe I got them right in there. Anyway, a little bit underwater on them. Waiting for this to break out. My stop's down here below the roadmap, well, below the lows at this point. So if this thing just takes a dump on earnings, I'll probably get out of it. But at this point, I'm expecting it to pop out of here. So still a very nice, valid roadmap setup. The entry's still up here, making higher highs. Confirmation, that's the aggressive entry. The conservative entry is up here around 34 after we pass this resistance of the 618. And this actually should move on over at this point to the lower low. So numbers still basically the same. All right. That's what we got on Macy's. It's going to stay on the list. The McDonald's. McDonald's. The entry would be up here at this point if you didn't get in. If you did get in, your stop needs to be down here around the low. And correcting. And this thing, since it found resistance at the 618, this could be setting up for that deeper correction thing. We're going 1, 2, 3 down to here. So keep an eye out. If it busts through below the lows, could be going down to there, 238. All right. Still looking okay, though. It's still well above the roadmap line for now. Just cautious on this rollover. I mean, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red days in a row for McDonald's. All right. Merck below the roadmap line. Marvell below the roadmap line. Microsoft below the roadmap line. A lot of big tech drop back below the roadmap line. MT below the roadmap line. Nokia below the roadmap line. Nvidia below the roadmap line. ONB looks all right. Looks all right. Yeah, so the aggressive entry right in here, right up into support. I mean, resistance. Resistance. Say the right words. It's got to see something that moves up like this. That'd be the aggressive entry. Up here is the confirmation, up around 20. Still the same thing it's been. Out to 21, 22. So that's ONB for now. All right, PEP, not even touching the roadmap line. Pfizer, almost there. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I expect this one to pull them down and touch again. You know, we did touch last time back here. So we can keep it on the watch list, but it's probably going to move on down a little bit more before it really sets up. The price point to watch is going to be right around here, around 54.50, 54.60, right in that area. Breaking through, higher high. Got to break up through there. That'd be the aggressive entry. More conservative entry would be up here. And then we'd be looking for 64.99, 69. But this may have a little lower to go. It may dip on down like this. So just keep an eye out. On the watch list for a reason. We're watching it. All right. Doesn't mean it's a entry alert list. It's a watch list. So, all right. PG, nope. QCOM, that thing muddied up its pattern really well. Like if you got in, this is not looking super hot. A lower high. And at this point, to even get me interested, it's gonna have to basically break out to a new high. So one to be careful. This could be setting up for that bigger retrace thing I was talking about with some of the other ones. Although not significantly lower here. 156, that's about where the stop would be. So if your stop is right in this area, maybe give it just a tad of room there so that it can bounce and go. It's a valid setup though. I mean, the entry for me would be up here, unless it, well, it could, that resistance area, could trigger me something right in this area, but I'd have to see some positive movement, and the market would have to be supporting it. And right now, I think the market may pull back on Monday, tomorrow. So, SMH, cut that one. SPG, cut that one. SPY, yeah, this is why. So I have a feeling that this is 1, 2, and 3 right here on the SPY. 1, 2, right up to the top one. And that brings us down here. I got a feeling. See, we couldn't beat the resistance there. This is a classic 3-wave retrace. 1, 2, 3. That goes with the Elliott wave stuff. I need the Elliott wave thing. Yeah, so goes A, B, and C. Right like that. That's why I expect some of these to go deeper. This pattern on the S&P 500, which is the general market. That's off my list for this week. TECL. Nope. Tesla. Nope. TSM. It's above it. The most aggressive setup. And what I don't like here, okay, check this out. That's flat. That roadmap is not, it's not really an uptrend. It's rolled over. It's kind of sideways. We haven't left it I mean, we did make this higher high, but it didn't go out to targets really. And it's been sideways for a year, so despite the chip stuff, we're going to cut that one. UUP didn't really touch. That's pretty bullish, but WBA looks like a hot mess of sideways. XLK, all these had great setups last week, but they're bouncing down. This is another indicator that we may be looking for a lower low. It came up to that resistance, couldn't do it. XLK, XLU, same situation, couldn't get through the resistance. XLV, couldn't get through resistance. XLY, couldn't get through the roadmap line. And ZS, oh man. So this one has a 3-wave correction thing. Look right here. 1, 2, bouncing right at the 100%. That's like really awesome, actually. The ABC right down there. See, these things can extend below that 100%. Like, all that 100% shows is that this first move down and this second move down, the third move, are echoey. They kind of echo, they kind of match, they're kind of symmetrical. Now, a lot of times it does push out to the 1272 or 1618. Like this third move is bigger. There's more selling pressure, cleaning more people out of the market. But this one's already done that correction right here so far. Price is a little higher. We came up and we found resistance at this prior high. Couldn't get a close above it. So now I want to see a close above here. Yes, that's above the red box because that top of that green tail right there was slightly above there. So somewhere up here around 293 to 300, need a close up in there, like a daily close. That gets me interested. Possibly an entry. Yeah, possibly an entry. We do have resistance coming up right up here. We need to see it clear this zone right in here. Come on, draw the box. Let's see where see those top of those tails right there? That's resistance. Then we came up, tried to get through, dropped off in the B. So that all makes a resistance right there, adds to it. This 618, right, just happens to be right in the middle of all that fun. Well, not in the middle, but right in the box. So we've got to see. This would be the first indication is that price popped up through that line right there. That's your first indication that this could go bullish. Next indication, so we move right on up through here. Daily closes now. We don't want to see any kind of rejection or slowdown. You need to see this move right on up through. Then we could be headed out to 417 or even 471. So after that, we're looking for move up here and then a move on up here. And last time it kicked off a nice long, we were breaking above and got above the highs in June. These highs over here. So June we had July, August, September, October. A little pullback into September, but it didn't even come back to the roadmap line. October, November. So looking at this pullback right here, we got all the way out to the 2618 right there. Remove that. So 2618, that could take us all the way out to 626 for Zscaler ZS. All right. So just keep an eye on it. It has a really nice setup. It's already been through the 3-wave correction, but it needs to prove it. All right. So list a bit shorter this week. We've got AVGO, CCJ, COST, KR, LAC, M, MCD, ONB, PFE, QCOM, and ZS. All right. Hope you have a great week. I'll be back with you next week. You got Discord if you need to ask me any questions. Thanks for watching, everybody.